The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour. It doesn't matter where you're at, as long as I'm here and you're here at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have going on? Certainly is interesting, but not unthinkable. As we talked about it last week, I thought if anything, at least the early part of this week would be flat or lower. Certainly has come in a little bit lower, not big, but we're down, 3.5 points on the S&P cash after kind of a sell-off into the close yesterday. Down 48 on the Dow. NASDAQ is up 1.5 points. Crude oil's up 40 cents. I haven't looked at gold in the last 15 minutes. Up $4.50 at $17.60. Silver down 11 cents. Probably the most interesting thing is we're down and the TLT is strongly up. The Fed's already started pushing a lot of cash into that market today as the markets have gotten a little bit weaker. 143.47, so a fairly big move generally means that when that money comes out, it'll go into or could go into equities. But we'll talk more about that. We've got the bond bounce. It is expiration week on Friday, and probably more than anything right now, we're waiting on earnings over the next couple of days. Just to remind me here, tomorrow morning we've got JPM, which is a JP Morgan in the morning, Delta Airlines. That'll be a little interesting. Nothing really after the close tomorrow night. Thursday morning, we get a little bit more. Taiwan Semiconductor, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, really broker-dealer banker week. Citigroup on Thursday morning. Morgan Stanley, Walgreens Boots Alliance. I thought there was one. Alcoa after the bell on Thursday. Alcoa for like 10 years in a row launched the earnings season, but no longer. It's kind of moved around past it. When we get into Friday morning, kind of complete the broker-dealer week with Goldman Sachs. You also have J.B. Hunt Transport. And that's kind of it. Then we get into next week. Kind of weak on Monday morning, not much going on there. Steel Dynamics after the bell on Monday night, but again, not going to move the market. Then we get into some of the bigger names next Tuesday. J&J, Ericsson, Procter & Gamble, Kansas City Southern, Travelers Companies, Iridium Communications, Manpower Group, Fifth Third Banking. Let's see, next Tuesday, week from today, Netflix, United Airlines, Intuitive Surgical. So we're going to have a lot of action pre-post market, just starting here really on Thursday morning. And I think, there's always that kind of thing where everybody wants to get a little bit, take some cash off the table. I think we've got that. The bonds moving up. You got to think that the Fed is really shoveling for all they can. I think we're going to 139. We could get a bounce out of just the $2 higher in the TLT we have today through the end of the week. Again, that's pushing money into the bond market. They sell the bonds. Maybe that goes down a little bit and that cash goes back in to hopefully finding a faster horse in the equity markets. But I think we have a lot of people that are kind of starting to get itchy now, especially when we look at some of the things like the SMHs. I think we've got a couple of questions about that already. Yeah, NXPI has bigger problems from Hector. I can't remember exactly what I heard on it, but there's some, it's got some problems. And I think in XPI, I want to say my memory is that this has been going down because the plant that builds their chips in China is not allowed to produce during the day. I think they can only produce 4 hours at night and on the weekends. Again, we were talking about the electrical problems with China and them just getting enough to it. And that, they're at this point now where they could get more electricity, but it's going to mean using coal. And they are actually trying to clean up Dodge because half the people are dying from lung cancer. Like they worked in a coal mine. They're not. They're just on the streets of their cities. But I've heard, I think that's, I'm pretty sure that's what I was hearing over the weekend. There's just so much right now happening. MCPH, another one down. The volume's okay. The one that kind of surprised me the most here today is Micron. This was kind of holding along that support level. It did break today. You are going to get some volume. You're going to get an opportunity to get this at 63 and then maybe 59 now, because that's the next couple of gaps, support levels down. Again, just people talking about supply issues and supply chain issues. The government, at least our government, seems to be thumbing its nose at all this stuff. They need to get the stuff off the docks, and I mean like yesterday. And we need to get the supply chain back going. But there seems to be a lot of fiddling while Rome burns on a lot of these subjects. But what can you think? If TSM is on Thursday. So what do we have here? If Taiwan Semiconductor jumps the creek lower, that's 107 floor, and bus decidedly lower. Do you have any idea what the new development might accompany such a scenario? Supply chains and whether or not they've got more problems with China. Hadn't been a lot of saber rattling in the last few days. It actually looked fairly good. I mean, you've got a whole bunch of lows out here, the last one being 7.5 million shares compared to the previous one at 12 million shares. Volume on the way down off the 125.28 high has been fairly benign compared to the strength on the way up. But again, everybody seems to be fiddling by Rome burns. They need to get not just throw more money at the problem. They actually need to get the problem fixed. But not a lot of people interested in that, it seems like, the government. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month, and try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right, information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TAS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500 plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE, and you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And as we return, Brent asks kind of a lot of the similar kind of things. So what's going on with Micron? If you can't get the metal cases off the container ships and the power supplies and all the other stuff that is really a commodity for computers, I mean, they can ship processors to us and memory sticks. That stuff all weighs in the ounces. You can, all it takes is one 747, and you've got all the production that you need for the United States for the small stuff that costs $500-600, like a new AMD processor or a NVIDIA video card, selling for $1,000. Spend an extra $10 throwing it on a 747 cargo plane, not a big deal. You take a computer case that costs $50, weighs 8 pounds. That is a total different thing. And the problem we're starting to get into is, in fact, if you've ever been on a construction site, they run around all the time saying, don't let a dime hold up a dollar. And that's exactly what we're doing. By not getting those containers off the ships, it doesn't matter if you have a processor, if you don't have a power supply. It doesn't matter if you got a video card, if you can't get the motherboard. All the stuff that is more commodity based stuff that can't go on a 747 is the problem right now. And Micron's already kind of pulling back a little bit. They're going to DDR5 memory from DDR4. DDR5 is an instant 100% gain in speed, where it's hard now to get memory to run at 3600. Right out of the gate, the DDR5 is going to be 6400. And computer memory is really the only thing, that's the slowest part of your machine next to the hard drive. So if you can make huge gains in memory, those are very compelling machines, especially if you're doing video work and video editing. All that stuff is going to make massive increases in the speed of production. If you're, to CAD CAM, all the other stuff that depends on high-speed memory, you instantly just get a boost. In fact, it's so fast that it may actually be faster than some of the off-brand DDR, not DDR, the off-brand SSDs that are out there. So it is when you double the speed, that's it. Now, who's going to be making it? There's only going to be a couple of companies. Micron's the big part of that. They should be able to set the price to anything they want for the first year and a half. Doesn't matter if you can't get the motherboards, the PCs, the power supplies, the cooling systems, all the stuff that is more of a commodity product off those docks. And that is the problem right now. Question here from Randolph, who says, well, are they stupid or are they just idiots? Both. We've seen what's going on out there. I don't know. The only thing I don't know is if it's a purpose to get maybe a better contract from the dock workers, or if it's a political plan. I don't know enough about it other than it's just sitting there. And in both Europe and in the UK, they've had the military go to the docks for people. If you get sick, we're going to send somebody there. And that's what's going to kill us through Christmas. If we don't, if we have to send the military in to get those products off those into the hands of some people that can, truck drivers that can drive them to the places they need to get right off the bat, most of them actually get on a train. But of course, they're not getting on a train because they're not getting off a boat, because you got to have a union worker, and it's all on the quiet on the western dock. What was that? What is on the waterfront? So we're just going to let this thing kind of slowly spin out of control. That's a big thing compared to an airline that's maybe not shipping some people around. That's bad for a day or two. This is going to be bad for months if we don't get it started. So back to John's question. It's all quiet on the Western Front, but it was on the waterfront. But it's not all quiet on the waterfront. That would be mixing my metaphors too much. So what could go on with Taiwan Semiconductor? They can just say what I said, which is there's supply problems with everything that we don't make. Maybe there's supply problems with the stuff we do make. But as far as I know, they're kicking stuff out as fast as they ever have. They can grow about 8% a year for chip production. And especially the people that use the cheapest chips are going to be the ones hardest to get. But at this point, we're now getting into the problem of other things, the commodity items that surround the rest of the expensive items like NVIDIA. In fact, let's go ahead and look at them at the moment. NVDA. We talked about, how many people were standing in line at Best Buy just a week and a half ago on Friday for just the chance to buy a video card at full retail, not even at a discount. And there were probably 150 people that would have waited in line if they thought they had an absolute snowball chance in hell of getting it. But they can't. It is a supply problem, not a demand problem. And we can see it there. Give me a call today, 877-927-6648. And maybe you can call and tell me why everybody's fiddling, why Rome burns. Okay. Another question here. I saw the thing over the weekend. Everybody yelled and screamed because of the insider trading last year on the two Georgia senators who both ended up losing their seats. Many other people at the Fed who traded on information or the stocks that they would be affected on. And of course, now we see just how many IPO deals that Nancy Pelosi got for basically half price. And in the last 10 years, she's made $100 million off I'd call it insider trading, but it's not exactly the same thing. It's sweetheart IPO deals from the MasterCard, or it was a Visa. Can't remember right now. But, everybody is at least tinged in some way. Mitch McConnell makes his family gets $10 million a year from shipping stuff from China. There isn't anybody that, there's probably a handful of people that aren't corrupt, but everybody's getting a payoff. And it's probably getting to the point where maybe someone will say something. But if you're thinking the Speaker of the House is going to let anything happen after she makes $100 million in the last 10 years, it ain't happening. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you having fun trading the markets, but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den Trading Room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Yeah, somebody said something that seemed rather silly on its face, and certainly now that we see the news, laughable. But I won't talk about it that much. Anyway, we're up 2 points on the S&P cash. Dow's down 6, NASDAQ's up 29, Russell 16, crude oil's flat at 80.50. Let's see. Question about AMD after we looked at NVIDIA. Same thing. AMD's got a whole ton of new products and processors. I'd go buy one today, but I can't get all the other peripheral stuff that I need. I will probably be buying some kind of new motherboard and processor right after or soon after it's available for the DDR5 memory. It would make a huge difference in a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, much less of some of the other stuff. But that's it. Okay, question about the rest of the semiconductor space. Let's see. Wanted to go back to my list. Question on the SMHs. Well, you want less than 5 million shares today on the SMHs. You got 3.1. So is it going to be, you're probably going to get at least 1 million in the last hour. So you're probably coming close to yet another low out here from October 4th at just under 5 million shares and 4.5 million shares on August 19th. So that. Now, what really is disturbing is how much energy you got off that September 16th high down to the October 4th low. 2.5 on my power law vector indicator on the way up, 3.4 on the way down. That's never a good indication. You bounced on about the same volume, which means you need to retest it. 3.1 million shares right now is problematic because you're going to get, again, close into that 4 million. The only good thing is you're not going to blow it out. And I have a feeling until we start seeing supply issues, even here in the United States, turn around, these are going to be somewhat problematic. Question about Boeing. You talked about the pilot shortage. How does this affect everybody? Boeing's new planes, if you flew a 747, you had at one time a pilot, a co-pilot, a navigator, and an engineer. Most of those planes are down to flying with just two pilots now with no engineer. Everything else is fairly automated, and it's not bad. But again, you need those pilots. And the biggest problem with the airlines, which are going to be reporting in the next couple of days, as we said, is the pilot shortage. We're also going to see pilots that in 5 years get to the kind of positions that it took 10 years for the previous crop of pilots to get, and certainly a lot higher pay going forward for those with more than 10 years of experience. But there are a ton. In fact, we live here in Clearwater, and there is a flight school if you've ever been down here in Tampa, there's the big airport. And over just kind of across the bay, maybe a handful of miles, 3 or 4 miles, is the Clearwater St. Pete Airport. That has a flight school that is now starting to run 24 hours a day. They're flying the planes. They can't, as you begin, you have to fly during the day. But I'm seeing now them taking a lot more. Once they can get people out in the night, they're flying the planes till midnight and landing them back. So there is a huge demand to get it in these flight schools. And these flight schools are literally running 24/7 now to get pilots through the doors. There's a lot of money. In fact, a lot of the airlines are starting to help fund these flight schools to get more people, more equipment, and everything else that they need to get these folks on. Of course, the people that have been flying corporate jets get pretty good pay. In fact, a lot of them were getting better pay than the airlines, while the airlines treated the pilots rather roughly. But two real things happened. Pilots started to get to that age where they were retiring, And 2, during the pandemic, they offered a great deal of them early retirement, trying to get them off the books. So what we're going to see is, I think, probably in the not too certain future, is upping the age from 65 to 67 to give some of these senior pilots another couple of years while they train a great deal of less experienced pilots. Tesla, we will take a look at, because someone says it's rocking. It's up to 812. I wouldn't call that rocking. It's been in an uptrend for a while. They moved out of California after a very interesting debate between, what is it, the mayor of San Diego? Anyway, it was alderman. It was somebody from San Diego. All I can remember is some really horrible tweets saying, we don't want your horrible company hiring and running all these folks and giving them jobs. You're not doing exactly like we want. And of course, Elon moved to Texas, including his all the executive office, which is, I think, is not too far from the Jet Propulsion Labs. They're in Pasadena. But they'll be totally out in the near future, and down where back into Texas, where they'll have a lot easier time for manufacturing and working with folks. Their discussion was that it was just far too expensive to hire anybody, because the average price of a even small home was $400,000, and most of the people couldn't even get an apartment or anything else. So they just said, hey, we're going to move to Texas, where there's a lot of empty space, and the rent's about 1/4 for our employees. So they moved on. I think that was kind of a good thing for Tesla. I still suspect that there's a fairly decent short in this. One of the reasons why is over, what was it, last Friday, on a unrelated, well, semi-related event, the hydrogen car from the version 2 of Toyota's hydrogen car drove 850 miles on one fill-up. That's the new version with their new fuel cell. So you're not going to get that every day, but you might be able to get 550 or 600 regularly out of it. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
And we're back. A question. I hear this a lot, which is Tesla has the best tech and safety features in a car. I'd say they have the best tech in batteries and electric motors. As far as the safety features, I've had one up on the rack, as I said a couple of months ago, where I'm helping a friend rebuild one of them. There were a lot of stuff that you would just laugh if it was on any other car that came out of the assembly line. Things that didn't match, things that didn't go anywhere, electrical wires routed incorrectly because they didn't match the routing system that was put in the thing. They're not bad cars. But a lot of people talk about them like they're made of gold. They are not. You can go on YouTube and see these people starting to work on them and finding out all kinds of stuff. There's screws on one side. There's not on the other side of the car for the same thing. There's a lot of weird stuff that they're doing to get those things out in a hurry. And maybe it doesn't matter. Right now, they're very lucky in that General Motors and the others are all having their share of cars burn up. I would say one thing. I wouldn't have an electric car in my garage. I don't want to wake up in flames. And they have about, per there are 10 times more likely to catch fire sitting still than a gas-powered car. So there are very good things about them. I think in the end, there'll be a big turning point, and that's when these cars either get really better batteries, or Toyota that has seen the light and hydrogen power actually is what is going to work long term. No hoverboards either, nothing else. Yeah, if I'm charging my car, it's going to be out in the driveway. I'm not putting the thing inside. Yep. There's, of course, that famous video of the guy with the iPhone that catches fire in his pocket. Remember that one? Man, I think that got like 50 million views. So, yeah, you never know. Anyway, we're off one point. Really, all we're doing is waiting for earnings really to start tomorrow morning. So I wouldn't get real excited. As I said yesterday, it was the bond market was closed. We didn't see what was going on. We've got a little stronger market with the TLT up about $2. We're going to see the Fed push in there and try to stabilize this market at least over the next couple of days. And we'll see. My guess is that Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley and the rest are probably going to be okay. It is what we get into next week. So I'm looking for a bounce maybe Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon or something. when everybody looks at these earnings and starts getting a little less worried, and then look for the problems we're going to have next week. But of course, tomorrow or Thursday morning, that Taiwan Semiconductor, if they really say something bad, that could be enough to break the market by itself. But that's the only real wild card I see this week. It's all about next week that I think is has a lot more opportunities for things to blow up in our face. We looked at AMD, didn't we? Or did we? We'll go look at some other stuff out here. Go through here, my emails. Okay. Other stocks. Take a quick look at Microsoft. Oh, I needed to get to something, and I got 4 minutes. Let's go ahead and do it now, because I almost forgot about it. I had a question this morning from one of my subscribers. I put a bunch of the options charts in this morning. Today, I'm going to get a lot more for tomorrow morning. But there was kind of a good question, and I tackled it in the webinar that I did on this, but it's been a little while since I talked about it. But there's always this kind of thing where people are wondering where I come up with these numbers, and there's more than a couple things. Generally, if you know exactly where the stock is going to close on Friday, you're going to get some kind of pattern that looks like this. It's going to look kind of like that. It's going to look like one of those jiggers at the bar with 2 ounces on the one side and 1 ounce on the other. Get a gnat after me here. And you're going to get something like that. Now, the problem comes in with a lot of times short interest in a stock. And let's see if I can get this going here. Yeah, let me just delete that and come out. Oh, there we go. Well, what you're going to actually get is something that looks a little bit more like this. And you're going to get, I can't really do it with this tool here in the paint program, but you're going to get a couple things that look like hockey sticks. And they're going to look, let me see if I can draw it up here. If I can do it like that. You're going to get a lot more of that kind of stuff. Like you can see that there's a real bend at a very specific part. Now, the X generally marks the spot for expiration. But if there are a lot of short sellers in it, what you're going to find out is a lot of times you're going to intersect on the high side of this, and it'll be right in there, something like that. There's the price right now in this leg up. What that is telling you generally is if the first hockey stick comes fairly close to the X mark, you're probably, and the price of the stock now is in there, that's your range for expiration. If you go a little higher and you get a couple more of these kind of hockey stick moves in the option expiration smile, as they call it, you're going to find out that first and the second hockey stick break, not just a curve like I'm showing down here, but it'll be an actual break, is generally the range that you're looking at. And I think I don't know if I had any. I think I have them in the newsletter. Maybe I'll show one here. I got a minute left. Okay, let's get to the newsletter. Let's get here. Here's like AMD. Your first hockey stick break, and it's kind of subtle, but it comes at 105, right? That generally means that at 105, that's probably resistance. Something really is going to have to happen to make it break above that. And the X mark is at like 102.50. Okay? So this has got a fairly good indication that the option market makers are looking between here and there. And the reason it's not at the X is because of the short positions in that stock. You have to look at it just because they make money on options. They don't want to throw it away on actual short equity positions. So you have to look at highly shorted stocks having kind of a fudge factor, a little higher. And generally, you'll see those hockey stick breaks.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are you looking for a secured investment which pays you on a monthly basis? The Tiger First Mortgage Program may be the program for you. The best rate on a 5-year CD in the country right now, according to Bankrate.com, is paying 1% per year or $1,000 per $100,000 invested. The Tiger First Mortgage Program pays 7% per year, paid monthly, on secured, high-value, buildable properties in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment is for 4 years, paying 7% per year or $7,000 per $100,000 invested. Your investment is secured by high-value real estate in St. Petersburg, Florida. Your investment can be anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000. Do you want to make $1,000 per year on $100,000 invested or $7,000 per year on a secured Tiger First mortgage? The Tiger First Mortgage Program may be just the program for you. The Tiger First Mortgage Program pays 7% per year, paid monthly. For more information, you can call 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're going to go straight to Steve in Austin. We've got 2 minutes, Steve. Fire away.
Yes, just wanted to get your opinion, Dave, on TBT and what your opinion is on that.
Well, you certainly broke here on, what is that, the 7th through the high on 5 million shares compared to 3.4 million shares back on August 12th. You're kind of back into that trading range. The Fed's fighting it here. That's the biggest problem is there isn't a free market. There is a market that's heavily leaned on by the Fed, and they occasionally come in and throw everything but the kitchen sink at it. We got that today after being closed yesterday. So we'll see. I'm thinking that the easier money is in the equities than trying to chase the TLT down on a daily basis. But that's just my thought at the moment. Because, again, anytime he can throw a hand grenade in to the bond market and blow you out. But as far as the rest of it goes, I'm thinking that if you're looking for stocks to short, if you think the TBT or the TLT is going lower like I do, It's just a matter of time. There are going to be some times when he just stands on the gas for a while. It's not going to do a lot of good. Generally, though, what we've seen over the last few times is that money comes out and goes right back into the equity markets. So we'll see. I'm thinking that also that during expiration, there's a little bit more going on here. We get past some of the first earnings calls, and we're going to have a much better idea come Monday and Tuesday next week where this market's going, especially Tuesday next week. So I wouldn't get too far out over the tips of our skis. Bond market, I think the TLT is going to 139. It's going to be how much does he fight it on the way there. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Back tomorrow like a bad rash. So when you can, not when you have to, as always.